This is what I called my dancer split. This is because it looks pretty. Their feet up, that's how I learned. I just slid down a bit more, but I go further out until whenever we're ready. Okay, go. So I perforated disc in my back and I ended up with splits. How did that happen? The tension caused by the perforation in my disc, which tightened up my back, was relieved by loosening the muscles that were pulling into my back. So my quad, my hip flexor, my glutes, because there's giant muscles pulling on that little muscle in my back, the more I loosened them off, the better the pain got. So I ended up with splits because I had to continuously do these stretches over like a 6-month period to stop the pain coming back. So I didn't fix my back, but what I did is I ended up getting splits. So, happy accident. So these exercises didn't fix my back. They just helped relieve the tension. These exercises with another clip that I have are what I did in conjunction. One strengthened, one loosened off the tension. Together, I got my back to work completely as it was before and do some amazing stuff which I wouldn't have been able to do without these exercises. But this is just about relieving the tension, which got me splits. So this is my basic splits exercise. There are multiple ways to get splits. This is the old-fashioned, just lean into it. Each person's different, each person has different ways. I'll give you more clips later. I broke my back, and now this is how I got splits. So, I start here. I keep my back nice and straight. I roll my hips back like I'm pooping forward. I put that foot forward. I roll those hips back, so I get a stretch through my hip flexor, and I keep my chest up. And I'm just rolling through here. If you want to add to this stretch, you bring this hand up, keep that in, and then just start opening that up. Try not to twist, just try and keep that pulling up that way. Hold this for 30 seconds to a minute, depending on what you need. You might get tension in your thigh rather than your hip flexor. If that happens, you've got a tight thigh. You need to release that before you get hip flexor. So the next one we do is we lunge right forward. So I generally look over my knee to see my toe, just so I can get maximal height and push down here. So I'm going to push my hip down here, trying to still roll my hips back. It's just a lot harder now. Now to add to this stretch, there's two things I can do. The first one, the easier version, is I grab here and I pull my knee in. If you see me doing something, I may be 100 kilos, bald, and a big guy. It doesn't mean you can do it. It just means I've got lots of history with it. You just do within the parameters you are. If you can't grab your foot, that's absolutely fine. If you're out here, that's absolutely fine. You just add to it slowly to get to the section you need to be. So I pull that in there, and I go here. If I want to add to this stretch, because right now my hip's slightly turning out. If my hips are headlights, they're turning off to the side. If I grab this side, and then put my hand here, my hips straighten up more, which sometimes is a better stretch depending on what you need to be released. I turn, pull that hip in, keep my chest up. This shoulder is back, but it's keeping my hip in a neutral place. Put that hand down, lower that down. I flex that foot. I'm pulling that back as far as I can. I'm pushing my belly button to my thigh and keeping my chest up. I don't want to round, that loads my back. Particularly when I hurt my back, that would just add to the pain. So I keep pushing that belly button forward. I can let that foot out if I like and keep it under, it doesn't really matter. It depends what the stretch is for you. Now just push, trying to be as long as possible while I'm folding forward, belly button going forward. I have very tight hamstrings right now, so this is not that nice. But in the long term, it will be. So my back foot goes under. Depending on your flexibility and range now, you don't have to copy me, you just go to the limits of what you are. If you do your splits and you're like this, and you're stretching, that's all you need to do. You can go up like that, that's all you need to do. The idea for this first section is we push through our toe and keep our knee off. We're trying to lift ourselves up. Eventually, you'll build this strength up and you'll be able to lift your hands off. But for now, we're just keeping our hands on because you don't want to do it straight away because you can injure yourself. So we hold ourselves here because this helps keep that hip in a better position. If we drop our knee to the ground, sometimes we turn out a hip. So now we're lowering down, put the knee on the ground. You'll notice my hip turns out. This is what I called my dancer split. This is because it looks pretty. If I turn it in again like that, that's my gymnastic split. That's more practical and I can use that for more things. I like to do both because sometimes I just want that pretty split. Okay. Now, I'm not going to repeat it on that side, but what I am going to do is do it this way and do the other leg so I'm not lopsided. So we're going straight on. So I roll my hips back like I'm pooping forward. I keep my chest up. I'll either feel it in my quad or my hip flexor. So basically that muscle or this muscle. This is the one we're trying to get because that little muscle there just causes grief all the time. Keep my chest up. When I feel like it's relaxed into a bit, because I'm not trying to force it in there, I'm trying to just gently caress it into position. And then we lunge forward, take that foot forward, and we push forward like that. Our knees going forward, we can still see our toe over there, and hopefully my shorts aren't too short. They're too short? Okay. They're elasticated, hard yakka, good shorts. So everything I'm trying to do, it can be uncomfortable, but it can't be painful. I will repeat myself on that because it's such an important part. If it's painful, you can damage yourself. It's uncomfortable, you're going into new ranges. Also, when we push down, we're trying to relax and relax into it. If for some reason we get stuck, we can actually try and lift ourselves up to create that strength at end of range. We'll go over that later in other sections. So here, now we flex that foot. So that foot's coming back. It just helps get more of a hamstring stretch. Flex that foot backwards. Now we push our belly button down, keep our chest up. Now we take that back foot, put it under, and we hold ourselves up, using our hands to hold ourselves up. Once again, if you're this high, that's fine. If you're, whatever the height is, you are at the level you're at. Lower down a bit. And then you'll notice with this hip, as I go down, this hip sort of turns out that way. I still want this flexibility because sometimes I need to look like I can go all the way down perfectly. And this is a little cheat, but it still is splits. Then if I want that gymnastic split, this hip starts to push forward and turns around like that. So if you're doing a push kick or you're doing a flash kick in the back salt, there's a whole bunch of kicks you can do, but it's also more practical for application. If I'm running, I don't run when my hips turn out, I run with my legs like this. When I went to a physio ages ago, when I was at one of my maximal flexibility times, my physio said to me, I was like a WRX. I handled like a WRX, but with the body of a V8. And I still had tension at the end of my ranges, I just had stupid range. And that's because you've got to work your body for what you need it to do. Cool, and down. And the next one is wipe the sweat off our face. We go into a straddle position like this. And I'm going to start this way because this is more important. We go here, we go into a froggy straddle. Our chest always wants to be more higher than our hips. So for me, I can go here. If you're up here, do not go down like that, be up like that. And the idea is you just slowly let those knees go out. If you're on a wooden floor, it's going to hurt a little bit more. If you're on a yoga mat, it hurts a little bit less. If you feel you're getting stuck, you can put like a slider for furniture, or you can put clothes under there to just help you slide out. It's whatever works for you, but don't have something that's making you slide beyond the parameters or the abilities you have. So I go down, I go here, and I sit comfortably. My weight's sitting into my hips. I don't want to be here, I don't want to be here, I want to be just here. There are lots of alts in what I can do here for gaining flexibility and mobility, but for now we're just keeping with the simple things I did to fix my back. So you'll notice me wriggling my feet, that's just helping me slide my knees out. So I'm almost touching the ground, but there we go. And we just hold this. So now I'm going to come up. You don't have to repeat this, I'm just doing it both ways so you can see it. I want my knees in line with my feet, I want my hips in line with my butt, so it's got a right angle here. So then I go like this, and I relax. Once you're in this position, if your legs can slide a little bit, here's the time you get out of your phone and you sit in your phone and you let gravity take care of itself. So right now my knees are a little bit sweaty, so they're sticking to the wood. If it was colder, I would slide more. But basically I'm almost on the ground, I could push a little bit further, but I'm kind of comfortable within the parameters of being uncomfortable enough for growth, but not uncomfortable for pain. And then I slide forward. And the next one is our middle splits. This is everybody's favorite split because it's nobody's favorite split. It's just, notice I've got shoes on, so I'm gripping. If I whip these off and I've got socks, I'm gonna slide straight out. But sometimes you want that grip to stop you sliding down. I like to turn my feet out, because that way, if for some reason I'm between two trucks and they're backing apart from each other, I can retain that balance. Some people like to have their feet up, that's how I learned. I just slid down a bit more, but I still bring it down a little bit like that till I get myself in that nice split position. Once again, if I can make it all the way down, I'm trying to squeeze up. But on the same side, if you are here, that's where you're at, and as long as you're uncomfortable, you're in the growth period. Same again on the side, here, slide out. Sometimes go on my heels because it's less friction, bring myself down, bring my feet over, try and hold myself up. Once I'm here, try and lower to my butt. If I can lower to my butt without coming out of my split, I just find I'm in a better position for the pancake we're about to do next. My shoe's about to fall off. So we're here. If you're back here, that's fine, that's just where you are. You put your hands here, you push your chest tall. This is really important. We don't want to round our back, we want to push our belly button forward. If we push our belly forward a millimeter, our chest goes forward a centimeter. If we push our chest forward a centimeter, our back can push back a millimeter, or a millimeter and a centimeter. So we've got to make sure we're pushing our belly button forward, because that's more important. If we're like this, go, oh, I'm almost down. It's so much more important to be here and in a good position because of the application of things that come before. And because I pushed like that, that may be one of the things that accumulated to my back finally busting and the disc going from so many different forces the way it shouldn't go. We want our hips to push forward. So we go here, we push tall, and we push to here. Now, if we want to go further, if you're here, you can start walking your hands out. Keep your chest up and hold yourself like that. That's the start. And as you get better, you go further out until my belly's off the ground, so I doop, and then come down. If you want to add a bit more challenge, bring your feet in a tiny bit, put your hands behind your back and lean forward and come up. Push your belly button forward and come up. So now I'll quickly twist this way. Push tall, lean forward. If that's where you are, that's where you are. You just stay there and enjoy that for 20 seconds to a minute. Coming forward, walking forward. Keep pushing that belly button forward. Lie down, belly's not on the ground. Boom. And then I have the alt of going here, here, wherever I like. Lean forward, come up. Make sure my legs are in a little bit so I don't have leverage and don't fall on my face. Down and up. You'll see I'm starting to round my back, so I want to push that belly button first forward and back up. So they're the splits exercises that I did to relieve the tension in my back. Do not push into it if it hurts your back more. Do things slowly and controlled as you're going through. The things I've done to get where I am, I built up to. I wasn't at my deepest stretch the first time I tried. It was incremental of a little bit at a time, just trying to relieve that tension. My intention was never to get splits, it was to relieve the tension in my back. So if you think of the long term rather than short term, if you think I'm trying to get splits, it's going to take you forever. If you go, let's deal with these little tension spots through my body, you'll get it faster. The slower you learn it, the faster you'll get it.